Ladies and gentlemen, we have our first bit of business in the window done. And it's not an incoming, it's an outgoing. Europa League final goal scorer Brennan Johnson has left the building. He has joined Crystal Palace for a club record fee of £35 million. People, let me know your thoughts on this move in the comments below. Like the video if you are just getting here as well, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. There is a lot to get through in this video because Brennan Johnson, someone who I think has had to put up with a lot of criticism during his time at Spurs. And let's take a look back at his time because it's a weird one. I feel like sometimes Brennan Johnson I feel like was overhated. Sometimes I feel like he was overrated. It's a weird kind of dichotomy, if you like. I don't even know if I've used that word before, mind you, but it's a weird one because I feel like when he initially came in for 45 million, the signing that he was, I think everybody was a little bit disappointed. We wanted someone who was a little bit more, not exotic, but maybe come in, could do the damage straight away. And having had one season, in the Premier League with Nottingham Forest, of course, won the young player of the year in the Championship the year before when they got promoted. However, he just showed flashes in that Forest season. I felt like you hadn't seen a fully fleshed out player. However, at Spurs, when he came in that first season, I think his record was 10 assists in his first season in the Premier League as well, by the way, with 5 goals in all competitions in 34 games. So not bad when you think about it in terms of debut. Now, the issue, I think a lot of the early criticism was Brennan Johnson was almost like a bane of frustration where he would go through these inconsistent purple patches where for 7 or 8 games, he's popping up with crucial goals, crucial assists, key areas, affecting games, popping up at the back post. But then he would also go through a stretch of maybe a month or two where you can see his confidence is just completely and utterly shot. And during those times, I think Spurs fans wanted a bit more personality and character from him. And I remember there was a period where he even deactivated his social media account. Listen, I understand sometimes the criticism, the pressure of playing for a big club per se gets on top of you. And he definitely hit him. And I think the way he bounced back from that kind of harsh criticism in that first season, bro, he responded with a vengeance because the very next season, he got 18 goals in all competitions and was our top goal scorer. I think he had 11 goals in the league, which speaks a lot on some of the strikers that we have, to be honest. Richarlison, Solanke was bought for 65 million. He outscored them all. But then more importantly, during that Europa League run, he was crucial as well. And in that final game, he will forever be etched in history, because he scored the winning goal in that Europa League final. No matter what you say, whether you love him, whether you hate him, whether you rate him, whether you don't rate him, you have to respect that final. I will always be thankful to Brennan Johnson for that. And you can look at the fee and say, you know what, 35 million, we paid 45, we took a 10 million loss. How have we took a 10 million loss on a player who put up 10 assists in his first season and 18 goals in his second season? I'll take the 10 million loss because I got that Europa League goal. That goal alone was worth the 10 million. So for me, I'm not too upset by the fee. But for me, the timing of this transfer is what's confusing me a little bit. Because this season, I look at it, Kudus has pretty much come in and made that right wing his own. The fact that Brennan Johnson, after those 2 seasons, after responding the way he did after that first, inconsistent season. Last year, I can't lie to you, I felt like he was one of my more consistent performers. Whether you liked him or not, he played a role in the team. He gave us an outlet. He popped up with crucial goals. He won us games. He won us a trophy. You can't deny his impact last year. And I was someone who was very harsh in terms of criticism because of the quality. Because of the close control, the dribbling. I didn't really see him as a traditional winger who could beat his man 1v1. But however, could he contribute to a team? Could he be a useful squad player? Could he be someone like a Solomon Kalou that I always say at Chelsea? You need those types of guys off the bench who are able to get you 10 goals in all competitions, 12 goals in all competitions. And I felt like Brennan Johnson had that use. However, coming into this year, you're thinking, wow, he's really built his stock back up. Got the Europa League winning goal, top goal scorer last year. He pretty much should be guaranteed that right wing berth, and Kudus might have to earn that more than him. No. Thomas Frank had other ideas. And I can't lie to you, I think the way Thomas Frank has used him this first half of the season, very, very poor in my opinion. I mean, you're looking at 16 games in the Premier League with only 6 starts. And I can't lie to you, I think every single one of those 6 starts came on the left wing, which if we know Brennan Johnson like we have for the past 2.5 years, He is not an inverted winger. He is a byline, get down the touchline, get that ball in the box. Byline, get in the box and pop up at the back post for a tap-in. That's the type of winger he is. And I feel like you could have potentially in some games, even I'm looking at Brentford yesterday, you could have moved Kudus to the 10 with Xavi not being there and then played Brennan Johnson on the right. That would have kept his happiness. That would have maybe got a little bit more out of him this season because we barely saw him this year. He was barely used. And I can understand why come the second day of the January window, he's already got a move lined up. But for me, I think this could come back to haunt us a little bit because if you look at it now, over the last 3 years, we've pretty much sold our top goal scorers. Harry Kane, gone. Son Heung-min, gone. Now Brennan Johnson. And mind you, this speaks a lot, that fact that Brennan Johnson is our top goal scorer last year. But he's also gone. And I can't lie to you, he won me over last year. As much as I don't want him to maybe start week in, week out, as much as I don't enjoy even watching him play per se, he had a function. He had a role. He had impact. And I think when you're trying to compete on multiple fronts, when you're trying to go for the FA Cup, when you're trying to do a little something in Europe, when you're trying to get top 4, you can't just have Kudus there every week, 90 minutes. Because I'm starting to see a few of the things even maybe West Ham fans are saying in terms of, you know, sometimes his head is down when games aren't going his way. And I don't blame him. The way Thomas Frank is playing this team and playing this football, some of these players are going to check out at some point. And I think I'm starting to see that in Kudus a little bit. Could that have been the perfect time to just maybe withdraw him, play Brennan Johnson on that right wing, get a little bit of movement between the two of them? And instead, Thomas Frank hasn't done that. Once again, a bit of mismanagement from this gaffer, in my opinion. And with Brennan Johnson, I'm not sat here saying, oh, look, we're going to regret this move. Oh, why did we sell Brennan Johnson? But no, you have to actually look at the totality of your team and say, where the hell am I getting goals from now? Who the hell is going to be the impact off the bench? Because the way I'm seeing Tell get used, he's barely getting used. I'm seeing Kolomwani get dashed on the left wing. So it's like, I don't know what's going on. Like for me, I don't see this move personally as a net positive for Spurs. Is it a positive for Brennan Johnson? Absolutely. Because now I actually think he is going to go to Palace. He's going to flourish there. They've got the 2 10s behind Mateta. He's going to take up one of those positions, running at pace, have space to play in behind, has a big target man who he can run off. I think he's going to go there and succeed. I'll be honest with you. And I wish him all the best. I will forever be grateful to you for that Europa League final goal, brother. Forever. I was able to have a celebration night because of you, brother. 17 years we waited for that. And he gave that to us. So I'm not going to sit here and talk about, oh, Brennan Johnson, I'm glad we got rid of him. Oh, he was never my type of winger. Nah, brother. He had a function. He had a purpose. And I think sometimes you could take that for granted a little bit. And I think we took it for granted. And I think it's not something that's really going to maybe majorly damage us, but you're definitely going to feel it in certain games when you need a bit of pace off the bench. He was that. And I don't think Thomas Frank has used him well enough this season at all. So people might think, do you know what? 35 million, I'll take that. I reckon we could have got back the 45 million if we used him better this season. So listen, I don't know. I think this is a good move for him. Maybe not so great move for us. But now it makes me curious as to what's going to come in. Because if you're getting this deal done on the 2nd day of January, you have 28 days to get my replacement in. Don't waste no fucking time. I don't want to hear deadline day we still haven't got a winger in. We already know we're bleeding on the left wing. Now we're missing bodies on the right wing. I know Kulusevski's coming back. Is he going to move back to the right? Is it going to be Kulusevski and Kudus swapping out on the right? Can we address the left wing? I thought we needed one winger. I'm looking at it now. We might need 2 wingers. And I was even thinking maybe, hey, a striker. Because right now, I've got 4 strikers that none of them are firing. And I've said many a times on this channel, I don't know which one of them is going to guarantee me 15 goals this season. So it's a case of, now I'm really looking at the squad building during this January. Let me know who you lot think should be the ideal replacement for someone like a Brennan Johnson. What do you make of his time at Spurs? Is this a move that Spurs could come back to regret? Has Thomas Frank mismanaged Brennan Johnson? Because I feel like in terms of even like impact on the squad, I can't lie to you. I felt like Brennan Johnson was loved by everyone in the team. Madders, Archie Gray, Bergvall, all the youngsters. Whenever you watch the Madders documentaries, when you watch the Tottenham behind the scenes videos, he's always at the core of everything. And I'm like, okay, fair enough. If that's going to be your role where the dressing room loves you and you can be an impact player off the bench, be a squad player, useful starting in certain games, I'm happy to keep Brennan Johnson around. But now we've got rid of him. You better get better in. You better get someone who's going to contribute in. You better get someone who the squad is going to vibe with. Like, I just want to see improvements in this team. And if us getting rid of Brennan Johnson means this team will improve, let's see it. If we are getting rid of Brennan Johnson without having replacements lined up, and now we're going to go fishing in every bargain basket bin ever, this is not going to turn out good. This is not going to go well for Thomas Frank. And this is going to look back as another indictment on Thomas Frank's reign. I can't lie to you. But let me know all your thoughts in the comments, please, because I just had to do a quick video on just my thoughts, because I think he's someone who's definitely been overhated, someone who has been, heavily criticized. However, I do think he had a role to play in this team. And sometimes it's not maybe the most glitzy and glamour role, but you need players like that in a squad of players. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thomas Frank, did he get it right? Are we going to get an upgrade? What do you make of his time here? Let me know all your thoughts in the comments below. Like the video as well. Appreciate everyone who's been showing love on the videos lately. I will be getting more out this January. So make sure you stay tuned, stay subscribed, turn your notifications on, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace!